Okay, today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting fractions. This is something we've done since about 5th grade, but it's something most kids struggle with. Okay? 2 common vocabularies that we do not understand why we did them is least common multiple. Least common multiple is used to find a common denominator when they're different. Got to have a common denominator. Can't compare apples to oranges. Can't give one student bigger slices of pizza than the other. They tend to get mad. Greatest common factor is used at the end of the problem to reduce it, to make it into simplest form. Always the last step with a fraction. Okay, so you have to understand those 2 terms. First thing we do, we have to write the problem. We write it vertically. Horizontally, side to side. Second thing we do, we have to find a common denominator, but there are 2 ways to do it. One causes more reducing than the other, but there are 2 ways. So between 2 and 4, we're going to multiply by the opposite denominator. That's the way for letter A. So I'm going to take this fraction, top and bottom by 4, this fraction, top and bottom by 2. And I'm going to get a common denominator. Okay, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8. As long as you have that common denominator, you can go on. Okay? Add the tops. Six plus 4 is 10. And then copy the denominator, 10/8. But you have to reduce. You have to reduce. You have to find, when you reduce, you divide by the greatest common factor. What number will go into 10 and 8 evenly, Brian? 2. 2. And that is the greatest common factor. If we accidentally reduce by a number that is not the greatest common factor, we just have to do it more than once. It does not make it wrong. You just have to do it more than once. Okay? In Brian's case, he got the greatest common factor the first time, so our final answer is 5/4. Yes, you can leave it as an improper fraction. Do you have to? No, you can convert it to a mixed number. But at this stage of the game, an improper fraction is a legitimate answer. Can be used. Okay? So we're going to do the same problem the second way. We're going to use an LCM list. Okay? Same problem using an LCM list. I know in 5th grade they made you do LCM on both numbers. I'm going to tell you, you're only going to make the LCM list for the smallest number. Okay? Then we're going to check the biggest number. It's less work to do on pencil and paper, and we can do this mentally. I can write my 2's times tables. All I'm going to do is make a times table list. 2 times 1 is 2. Times 2 is 4. Times 3 is 6. Times 4 is 8. Right? Mm-hmm. Will 4 go into 2 evenly?
Yes.
No. No. Will 4 go into 4 evenly?
Yes.
Oh, look. See, there was a common denominator that was smaller that I could have used. Right? So now I'm going to convert my fractions, making them a denominator of 4. My first fraction already is a 4. So I would multiply that one times 1. And what would I multiply my second fraction to make the 2 into a 4?
2 by 2.
By 2. So 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. Then I add them up and get 5/4. And there's no reduction there, right? It's already in simplest form. So if you use your LCM list, you might not have to reduce at the end. But if that causes you difficulty, you can always multiply by opposite denominators and reduce at the end. Everybody understands both ways?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are we allowed just to do the first way that you did it?
Sure you are.
To
You just
understand
gotta make sure that you reduce at the end.
Okay.
Okay, make sure it's in simplest form. Okay, there is a line here after step 3. Because in today's homework, they're gonna give you problems with common denominators already. And problems without common denominators. Okay, they're both gonna be in there. Like the better part of the first set already has common denominators. So you'll have problems like 1/3 plus 2/3. So when they're already the same denominator, you can skip all the way down to step number 4. So if you need to put this line in there so you know where you're at and write same denominator, these are all the steps you do if they're already the same. Add the numerators. Matt, what's 2 plus 1? 3. Step 5 says copy the denominator. We can do that. And step 6 says reduce. How do I reduce 3/3?
To 1.
To 1. I expect to see the whole number reduction. Not 1/1. The whole number reduction. Improper fractions are good, but if it will reduce to a whole number, you should take it there. Everybody got it?
Mm-hmm.
Lori, we're done with this.
What about subtracting?
Oh, same